What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the No Cap Space. Tyler DeLuca here at my alma mater. Go Tigers. We get a little Go Tigers here. With 5-star 2025 committed Keeley Parks. And Keeley, I'm excited to talk to you because I think that a lot of the times in high school reporting and everything, we get stuck at the rating, and that's what you become known by. Mm-hmm. And I think at times we don't expand far enough into the person that's behind. And so I just want to ask you generally, can you kind of describe the month of September for you? Because I can only imagine as a recruit what that must be like, because you had a busy September. So first off, give us a little indication of how busy the month was for you, and then kind of break down, kind of not surviving that, but like going through it and how that can kind of take a toll on a high school player.
Yeah, so I've been gone every single weekend of September for visits. It's been a lot, but I'm also super thankful because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do it. But I have missed out on homecoming, football games, all that.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in there.
100%. Like it's obviously a blessing, but certainly there are drawbacks to that.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued now that you're starting to wrap up this recruitment process, and we'll get more into the recruitment itself. If there's something you could tell yourself before going into the recruitment process that you now have been able to learn now that you're at the tail end of it, what would that be?
I would just say be grateful because there were some points I was like, I have another visit. Even though I wanted to go on it, it was just a lot. But now, like, looking back at it, like, people don't really get to experience what I experienced. So I think it's really cool. Yeah,
I mean, there's certainly a lot to be grateful for, especially with the type of programs that you've been able to go and visit, like the top of the top. Like, for you, just being able to travel and see different programs, different facilities, things of that nature, has that kind of changed what you value in programs? Have you just kind of been able to learn more about like what kind of goes into a college program?
Yeah, I definitely have, especially like culture-wise, because a lot of teams, schools, cultures are different, and everyone just had a different feel, so I thought that was cool.
For you, what culture kind of stood out to you as the ones that, maybe fits Keeley Parks the best?
I really liked, do I name a specific school?
You can name schools, you can name like kind of aspects to it, however you want to do it.
There's not really a specific school, but I think like I went to a few that get along really well and like hang out outside of basketball and like just want to be around each other.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. I also wanted to ask, as part of your September, it was more than just visits. You went to the Wooden Camp in Las Vegas. Kind of break down, like, for those that may not know, what is that camp, why is it important, and for you, what was your experience like there?
So it's been around for a while now, but the first year I went was in Dallas, and that was 2 years ago. And it's basically just a camp where you play and get a lot of exposure, and the McDonald's All-American voters were there. Yeah. So. Yeah.
How was your experience there? Was it fun? Was it nice kind of battling with the other top players?
Yeah, it was a hard camp because everyone was really good, but it was also in Vegas, so I got to like explore around.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. No, Vegas it's a lot, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Was there one thing that stood out the most about Vegas? Was that your first time in Vegas?
Yeah, that was my first time.
So like, how was it like digesting? Obviously, you don't get to go and do all the there's some age limits on some stuff in Vegas, but like even just seeing all the signs and everything is a lot.
Yeah, I'm like so used to seeing it on TV and stuff, so it was cool like being downtown and getting to see everything. It almost like kind of reminded me of New York a little bit because like the craziness of everything and all the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, so. You mentioned New York, and one thing that you got to do in New York was go to the Stewie camp.
Yeah.
How did kind of the camps kind of compare? And also even like Team USA camps, like it's all like these top talents in different places, but how could you kind of like decipher the differences maybe between these different camps?
Just locations, honestly, because everywhere I went, I got to like explore just outside of the camp and not just all about basketball. So I thought that was cool.
So speaking of, kind of being, it's obviously so much is about basketball at these places, and especially like just in your life generally right now. But what's one thing that off the court that makes Keeley, whether like outside of basketball completely, outside of sports, what is something, a key factor that makes you who you are as an individual?
I think getting my nails done.
Okay.
Yeah, tanning. I mean, it's not tanning season anymore.
Yeah,
sadly,
right,
but
right.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get my nails done today.
Okay, there you go. So like, how
Yeah.
often are we getting, like, what's the basis here? Like, not that I'm not the expert on this, so like.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Like every 3 weeks, I'll get them done.
Mhm. So like, what's like, is it like, do you like do different designs for different seasons? Like, what is it? Like, 'cause it's spooky season now.
Yeah.
Did we get like a spooky nail design, or like, what do we?
No, not really. I usually just do like pink or white.
Gotcha.
Like pink, I have pink right now, and then like a little chrome, make it pearl.
Okay. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll start taking notes for
Yeah.
next time I go get my nails done.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so we might have to change those to some team colors maybe at some point.
I don't
later
know
on down
about
the road.
orange nails, but
Okay, yeah. So I did it's with you mentioning Orange, Norman High, obviously. One thing, I've gotten to see you play both here at Norman High and also like in the summer circuit and everything with Team Lex. For you, because it's very different in what you're asked to do for each team, and it's been interesting seeing you actively in different roles for the team. What would you kind of, I guess, attribute kind of that flexibility to? Because here at Norman High, it's a very ball dominant, you know, and like you're being asked to do a lot. Whereas when you're other top recruits and everything, you're able to kind of fit in different places, play make a little bit more. How would you kind of say that the difference in the play style has helped you grow in total as a player?
yeah. So for high school, I'm always on the ball. I really have to do not everything, but I have to do a lot more than I do in AAU. In AAU, it's nice to be around other elite players because I can go off the ball and go on the ball too, and they make plays for you a lot easier than high school. But
Yeah. So probably a little bit closer to what college might end up being like is the AAU side. And so what would you say, because in the midst of all that, you're playing and doing a lot of different things on the court, depending on what team you're on and everything. What do you feel like is your most underrated part of your game? Because I've seen you score, I've seen you play make, see you play defense, but for you, if you were to pick one thing that's the most underrated part, what would that be?
Probably, that's a good question. Probably my leadership. I'm not the most vocal, but like leading by example, I think I'm pretty good at that.
I love that, yeah, because like that's to your point. I was kind of interested because like it when I've seen you play, like to your point, like you're not the most vocal. I certainly agree with you in the sense that it does very seem like lead by example.
Yeah.
Is there like a pregame like ritual here? Because you're not like, you know, you see some players that are just coming out, they're hyped up, they're gassed up. That's not like that doesn't seem like the exact style that you are. You know, like running all around the court and everything, pregame, getting hyped up. What's like? Are you a very like zen pregame person? Are you getting hyped up? What are the vibes?
I mean, for AAU, I'm more like just have my AirPods in, listening to music. But for high school, we'll like have the speaker on in the locker room and dance a little bit, sing a little bit. So yeah.
Do you get to be on aux?
Yes, I'm always on aux.
Okay. So
Yes.
now we gotta dive into the aux. What are we talking here? What's on the playlist?
Just rap.
Okay.
Like TikTok songs, like all that.
Do you be doing the TikTok dances too?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite TikTok dance?
Oh, I'm not gonna say how it goes, but I mean, like all the dances are kind of the same right now on TikTok.
Okay.
So I don't really have a favorite one right now.
Okay. So what artists though are on the playlist? Because like you mentioned TikTok, so I know there's some TikTok songs that go viral on there. But like, what are the artists that we're talking that you feel like would be on the playlist most?
I love YoungBoy.
YoungBoy. Okay.
Yes.
I mean he's all
Everyone's
around right
gotta
now.
love him. Yeah. And I love Rod Wave, even though his music's like kind of chill.
You get kind of sad before the game with
I
Rod Wave,
think
don't
so.
you?
No, every time I listen to Rod Wave, I play great. So.
Okay. So whatever school is up next, let them know pregame what needs to be on the
Rod
playlist.
Wave,
And Rod Wave. Okay. I do want to talk some of the recruitment. Obviously, like I said, I wanted to make sure we highlighted other parts. But to your point, it's been a crazy month for you. With I mean, I've lost count of the visits honestly from social media and everything. One that's obviously here, your hometown is being at OU and everything, and we saw I think it was the Tennessee football game that you got to go to and attend. What is we've seen a couple players from Norman and like kind of surrounding area that stayed home and decided to do that, whether it be like a Trey Young on the men's side or something similar that has come. I know Keziah Lofton is from Bethany that is going to be playing at OU. What would that mean, you know, if you were to potentially go to OU, for you being able to say like, I'm representing home? Is that kind of an aspect that comes into play into this decision?
Yeah, that would be cute, and cool. I mean, it'd be cute because like everyone's like, you know, but I think I would have a lot more support if I was from Norman, going to Norman. So
yeah, I mean, 100%. Like I said, we saw it, you know, with some of the other teams, and one of the aspects I think as well that's super interesting in women's basketball right now is I don't think that there was a stigma about freshmen coming in and not producing, but certainly there is an element of kind of paying your dues at times. But this past season, we just saw Juju and Hannah and all the freshmen that just absolutely killed it. Even in the W, seeing like Caitlin and Angel in their first year making the step up to a next level, immediately killing it. For you, how does that kind of come into play? Is that something you're thinking about where it's like, I want to come in and make an immediate impact?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's something I really want to do.
Got you. So like, when it comes to that, is that something like, you know, you're going into these visits, you're like, okay, how can I immediately factor into this?
Yeah, those are some questions I have when I go to the schools.
Got you. So we don't want to dive in too much into the recruitment and we'll get into the specifics, but I am interested for you, this process is winding down. I believe you have one visit left with Kansas on deck. For you, now that this process is winding down, I'm not gonna make you spill any of the beans or anything. Yeah. But as this process is winding down, how have you kind of navigated the decision itself? Because I think the visits are one thing, and now as you like dwindle kind of the schools down, I know it seems you and your family have been very calculated in this and making sure you guys are making the best decision. How have you kind of been able to manage that, whether it be talking with your parents or anything? Yeah,
me and my parents have talked a lot about all the visits and stuff, and I'll even like write stuff down too about like pros and cons. But it's definitely a relief to be finally getting to the end. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's interesting you say relief, because I do think that like while as exciting as all this can be,
it can be stressful.
It's a lot. It's a lot. How have you that just to that aspect specifically? There's so much being thrown at you at a young age. Realistically, you know, like it's a lot of information, a lot of people that want you, and this is one of the biggest decisions you'll make.
Yeah.
How have you managed the stress part specifically of this and just kind of being able to consume and digest all the information?
I think I've had a good schedule of like calls and stuff, because a lot of schools want to talk like right after the visit. So I kind of just like take a moment and be like, I can't do it today, and like just more like reflect on the visit.
I feel you. I know I don't want to say I'm not gonna pry. I'm not. But has there been I guess now that you've been through this process, as you now dwindle everything down, if you were to put, we talked about immediate impact, we talked about culture, if there were kind of 3 kind of bullet points almost to highlight as to like, this is what is important to me when I'm choosing my next school, if you were to pick kind of 3 broad topics for that, what would that be?
Well, honestly, those 2 are a big part, because I really want to have good culture, and like teams with good culture usually win. Yeah. And then immediate impact, I want to go somewhere where I'll play right away and try to win a championship. And then just player development, like after basketball or even like going to the WNBA.
Yeah. Well, look, that's where the goals are set. Yes. Championships and WNBA. Keeley, I know I'm excited to see where you end up. I know a lot of people are excited to see where you end up. So thank you for taking the time to chop it up, and make sure you're playing Rod Wave. Whatever school it is, play Rod Wave. Keeley, thank you so much. Make sure you guys stay tapped into the No Cap Space. All the links down below for the Substack, the Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.